The real estate romantic, hermit crabs. Hermit crabs are not known for their charisma, but their dating ritual is surprisingly charming. Since they cannot make their own shells, they rely on empty snail shells as portable homes. During courtship, a male tries to impress a female by offering her an upgraded shell. This is less like bringing flowers, and more like showing up with a fully furnished apartment. He lifts the shell, displays it proudly, taps it to show off the acoustics. And he often polishes it nervously beforehand, just in case a little extra shine helps. The female does not simply inspect it. She runs her legs over the surface like a landlord doing a security check, peeks inside as if she expects hidden mold, and even spins the shell once, like she is checking for counterfeits. Her expression stays perfectly blank, the universal face of someone silently judging real estate. If the shell meets her standards, she moves right in. If not, she walks away while the male stands there holding a rejected property listing. Sometimes a good shell triggers a vacancy chain where multiple crabs line up, swapping shells in a domino-like sequence. One crab's upgrade becomes another's opportunity, and suddenly you have the ocean's smallest housing market unfolding in real time. Nothing says romance like a property transaction that ends with everybody wearing better housing. The neck whip duel, giraffe. Giraffe courtship is not romantic. It is physics. Before a female even considers a mate, the males have to prove themselves in a ritual called necking, which sounds adorable, but absolutely is not. Two massive animals stand side by side and swing their necks at each other like biological wrecking balls. Their heads act as blunt force hammers, slamming into ribs, legs, anything they can reach. Sometimes they just tap each other to test the waters, a polite warm-up round. Other times, the blows are so hard that the loser topples over like a collapsing tower. It is essentially slow-motion MMA, with extra neck. The female watches the duel the way someone watches a sports match they never asked to attend. No cheers, no reactions, just calm blinking. When one male finally wins, she gives him a quick look that says, acceptable, with the energy of someone choosing a parking spot, not a partner. The male that stays standing earns the right to approach her, while the defeated competitor walks away in slow motion, pretending his neck does not hurt. Evolution never promised dignity, only that the strongest swinger wins. The sand mandala engineer, Japanese pufferfish. Underwater, subtlety exists, but not for the Japanese pufferfish. The males create enormous sand mandalas that stretch several feet wide. They carve perfect ridges and valleys into the ocean floor using only their fins and well-aimed bursts of water. The patterns are so symmetrical and mathematically precise that scientists once thought they were made by machines. The male works non-stop for days, smoothing edges, sharpening lines, reshaping the geometry until everything looks flawless. Each ridge also helps slow ocean currents, protecting the eggs later on, making the artwork both beautiful and practical. Then a current comes by and wipes half of it away. There is no tantrum. He just starts again, like an overworked artist on his 15th revision. When the female arrives, she circles the mandala slowly, like an art critic deciding whether the piece is genius or accidental. She hovers above the center, tilts her head, and gives the exact vibe of someone thinking, interesting composition, bold use of sand. But does it spark joy? If the mandala passes her standards, she lays her eggs right in the middle. If not, she swims off, and the male returns to his life as a sleep-deprived underwater architect. The art director, Bowerbird. The bowerbird is nature's interior designer, and his entire love life depends on his artistic vision. Instead of building a nest, the male creates a bower, a carefully constructed display arena of twigs arranged in intentional symmetry. Then comes the decoration. Some species collect blue objects. Others prefer orange or white. They gather berries, feathers, beetle wings, stones, plastic caps, anything that fits their chosen palette. Each item is placed with the dedication of someone preparing for a gallery opening. Some even practice forced perspective, arranging objects by size so the bower looks bigger than it actually is. The female steps inside with the silent intensity of a museum curator, but switches roles quickly. At one moment, she is an art critic assessing the color palette. The next, she is a realtor checking the floor plan. And sometimes she gives the air of a design professor deciding whether this student passes or fails. She nudges an item here or there, more to observe the male's reaction than the object itself. If she approves the design, she mates with him. If not, he spends the rest of the season refining his artistic skills and questioning his life choices. The high-risk lover, praying mantis. The praying mantis takes dating anxiety to a different level. Males do not worry about bad impressions. They worry about not surviving the date. The female is bigger, stronger, and equipped with jaws that could cut through an insect like a paper shredder. Sexual cannibalism is common, and while not every mating ends with the male being eaten, the risk is real enough that every approach feels like a stunt. Some males crawl toward the female as if trying not to set off an alarm. Others leap directly onto her back, skipping all social pleasantries in an attempt to get the job done before she changes her mind. A few even freeze mid-approach, briefly reconsidering the wisdom of their entire existence. From an evolutionary perspective, the female benefits from the extra nutrients if she does decide to snack on him. It improves egg quality. For the male, it is an occupational hazard, not a romantic gamble. The female watches him with a calm, unreadable stare that could mean, "You may proceed," or "kindly hold still." She gives off the energy of someone evaluating a tool rather than a partner, occasionally tilting her head with a precision that feels less like curiosity and more like measuring the perfect bite angle. Still, the species continues, which means enough males are willing to roll the dice. The Broadway bird. Bird of paradise. The bird of paradise does not flirt. He stages a theatrical production. When a female appears, the male snaps into performance mode, rearranging his feathers into shapes that look like masks, cloaks, even glowing geometric fans. He pivots, hops, freezes, and displays colors so vivid that it feels like someone added visual effects in post-production. Before any of this happens, he spends hours cleaning his dance floor. One stray leaf can ruin the symmetry, and he will sweep it away with the focus of a perfectionist who knows exactly how competitive the dating market is. Some species even rehearse multiple routines, switching styles mid-performance like dancers auditioning for a musical. Then, the show begins. The female watches from above with the expression of a talent judge who has seen 20 auditions that day. No applause, no nods, not even a feather twitch. Occasionally, she leans forward by a millimeter, which for her is the equivalent of saying, "Surprise me." The male lives for that millimeter. If his routine is flawless, she stays. If he hesitates for half a second, she flies off, and he stands there wondering whether he should rehearse more or fire his imaginary choreography coach. Nature never settles for one strategy. It experiments with violence, architecture, performance art, engineering, comedy, and risk, all in the name of reproduction. Stay curious, and see you in the next episode.